Historical Preservation Commission meeting for Thursday, December 17th, 2020. It's a regular meeting. I am actually Tom Schroeder and the vice chair. The chair is not available to be here, so he's asked me to fill in for him tonight as vice chair. Some things business I need to take care of. The purpose, let me get this over here so I can get them on the same side. The purpose of this commission is to approve certificates of appropriateness for new construction or major work, and to do so by conducting hearings and findings of facts when applications come before the commission. Our mission is to take no action except to preserve and approve that which is congruous with the special character of the Village of Pinehurst Historical District. These proceedings are video recorded, so it is necessary that everyone please speak clearly into the microphones provided, as this is the only way your testimony will be recorded on the video recording. And I'm going to go around starting with my right. I would ask that each of the commissioners please ensure their microphones are on and state their name for the record.
David Herring.
John Taylor.
Ann Lucy.
Richard Vincent.
Gary Lertz.
I would ask the commissioners to please put your microphones in with mask on. It is sometimes hard to understand people who are talking. If anybody has any problems hearing anything, please wave and we will see if we can get it resurrected or fixed. Let the record show there are no vacant seats on the commission, and we do have a quorum. There are 7 people on the commission. We have 6 of them here tonight. And I also want to introduce the staff. I've got Peter Hughes, who's the senior planner, just held his hand up, and Kelly Brown, who's the administrative assistant for the planning department, which is right next to him and held her hand up. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, so anyone desiring to testify must be sworn in. We are required to consider only facts presented in this hearing. Again, these proceedings are being recorded, so please speak into the provided microphone when addressing the commission. Okay, let's take let's take a look at the previous meeting's minutes. I believe everybody's received a copy of those.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve is on the
Second.
table and seconded. Any modifications, comments, or otherwise about the previous meeting's minutes? If not, we will vote, and I'm going to start with my left and ask for a roll call vote. And Terry, if you'd please start.
I approve.
Okay, thank you.
Approve.
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 It was unanimous vote for approval. Okay, and I'm going to swear in Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes.
Can you open up the public hearing first?
Okay, I can do that. Do I hear a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed unanimously. Now I'm going to swear in Peter Hughes. Mr. Hughes, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give to this commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
The record show that Mr. Hughes answered in affirmative.
Tom, would you like to do ex parte, conflict of interest,
That's
bias?
what I'm going to do next. Okay. Starting with my right, I would ask that each commissioner please state clearly whether you visited one or both of the sites and if you have any ex parte communication that you would like to disclose.
I did not visit either.
Ex parte communication?
No, didn't visit either.
Okay.
I visited both, no ex parte communications.
I visited both and no ex parte communication.
I visited both and no ex parte.
I visited both, no ex parte.
I visited both and no ex parte communication.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hughes, would you please give a staff report on the first one, which I believe is COA 2020-160?
Can I just ask about reversing?
Sure. Question?
Could we reverse the two?
We just need you guys to make that part of the record first, and then I'll switch to that one. So if you
I'm-
guys could move the agenda.
Yep, I want to modify the agenda unless there's objections by anybody in here. We're moving up COA 160, 30 Everett Road, prior to the other one, and the reason for that is it's a relatively short issue, and we can get it taken care of, and people on their way when they're appropriate. So, in that case, Mr. Hughes, staff report.
Thank you, sir. This public hearing is to consider a request within the Pinehurst Historic District of an exterior modification at 30 Everett Road. The applicant is proposing to replace an existing window with a window that does not match the detail, size, or style of the existing. The subject property can be further identified by Moore County PIN number 856-200-067704. The property owners of record are James and Nancy Yarley, and the applicant is James Yarley, but his representative today is Wayne Haddock of Pinehurst Homes. This is a front elevation photo taken by staff of 30 Everett Road. So in the primary structure for 30 Everett Road was constructed in 1895. It is known as the Retreat. It's a one-story frame cottage with a German siding and a hip roof. Wayne, if you'd like, you can go ahead and sit down, sir. With a porch and gable dormer and an engaged front porch with Tuscan columns. All of the adjacent properties are listed as contributing structures, and there are 4 previously issued COAs, 2 major and 2 minor for the property. This is a list of the notified properties. There is one vacant land owned by the village. It is not listed in the historical survey, and the rest are all contributing structures built between 1895 and 1915. This is the notification map for 30 Everett Road. In red is 30 Everett, and the surrounding area in yellow are the properties that were notified, and a sign was posted 14 days prior to this hearing. Standards of review: the addition or removal of windows or doors is considered major work. This request does not meet the minor work standard, which is the replacement of doors and windows that are the same style, material, size, and color as the existing doors and windows, which is why it's coming before the commission this evening. The applicant, as a result of this proposed window exchange, is also proposing to replace the existing window with siding and the bow window with a single double hung window. This is an applicant submitted photo that was included in your packet. The resolution is not as good as what was in your packet. Staff went out there and took a couple extra photos to show you a different angle and get that resolution up a little bit as well. Once again, this is the bow, and oh, look at that, I made an appearance in the photo. This is a bow window. According to the applicant and some material submitted by the application, this was the result of a 1950s or 60s addition. The applicant is proposing to replace that bow window with a single double hung window, and they have provided this elevation drawing for that record. They're proposing to match proposing to match the new window to all existing detail. They have existing double hung windows on location, and while this photo looks like there's 2 different colors of siding there, it actually is the same. It is gray throughout, and it's a German siding that he's planning to match like for like. These are additional photos of 30 Everett showing additional single or double hung windows, and then this is that 1950s, 60s prior to the addition photo. As you can see, the right elevation does show somewhat of a similar linear tall window there. Tall and slim windows were more historic because it was just easier to get glass made that way. He also submitted photos of adjacent properties with double hung windows to show that he is a conformance and congruity with the adjacent properties in the historic district. This is of the Mistletoe Cottage. This is of the Craddock Cottage, another double hung window there in the photo. This is the Dogwood Cottage, which is across the street. And then this is the Sunshine Cottage, which is 5 Everett Road, also across the street. This was the exterior materials and colors list that was submitted. As you can see, he's matching the German shiplap wood to the German shiplap wood for the new exterior siding as a result of the window downsize. And he's changing the bow style window to a double hung. Both material will be wood, and the trim will be wood as well. At this time, staff would like to submit the following into the record: staff report, presentation, application, applicant's materials, photos, site plans, and findings of fact.
Question, Mr. Hughes, about the report he just provided. And we'll make that part of the record then. Sir, if you would speak into that microphone that's in front of you, and please state your name and your relationship to this property.
Okay. My name is Wayne Haddock, Pinehurst Homes. I'll be doing the work for Mr. Yardley. We renovated the home some...
Oh, hold on, I need to swear you in first. I just need your name and your relationship.
Okay.
Okay? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide to give to this commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, let the record show that the testimony, the person is, Mr. Yardley's sworn in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, Wayne Haddock, Pinehurst Homes. You guys know, done quite a bit of work in the village. We renovated this home, I think it was approximately 7 years ago for Mr. Boudreau. Did a nice renovation of the home to bring it back to a lot of historical value that it once had. The bow window was there, remained at that point in time. And as Mr. Yardley said, it was in place sometime probably in the 50s. And what he's proposing to do is to replace that bow window with a window that actually simulates the historical structure closer to what it was back in 1895. You know, it's not as large as some of the work we've done in the village, but it's just as important. And you know, we really feel that way, and we're really happy to be able to assist him with this. We'll match all of our siding. It'll be the wood Dutch lap to match the wood Dutch lap on the side of the house there. So our existing materials will duplicate with the new materials.
okay. Anything else, sir?
No, sir, I can't think of anything else to add.
Okay.
You know,
Commissioners, questions?
No.
Questions from any of the commissioners? I have none. Do I hear a motion?
I can do that. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission find the proposed major work at 30 Everett Road congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District and consistent with Historic District guidelines based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
Bert's made the motion and seconded. Any other discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. And to the next motion, the remainder of that.
I'll be happy to do it if Terry doesn't want to.
Okay.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness for the proposed major work at 30 Everett Road.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carried unanimously.
And thank the owners for being good stewards of their home. That's good.
thank you very much.
Okay. Get that cleaned up. Hey, report from the staff. Who's trying to get his stuff in a row?
Yes, sir. This public hearing is to consider a request within the Pinehurst Historic District for construction of a new single-family home at 105 Fields Road. The subject project can be further identified by Moore County PIN number 856-205-078543. The property owners of record are Carmen and Clement Monroe, and the applicant is Christine Dandanu of Dandanu Architecture. This is a current photo of 105 Fields Road. It is a vacant lot, and a sign was posted, as you can see in the photo, 14 days prior to this public hearing. 105 Fields Road is a vacant lot within the Historic District. A major COA was granted in 2017 for the demolition of a primary structure, which is why it is a vacant lot today. It is not listed within the National Historic Landmark because of the demolition. There is no structure to be listed. 4 of the adjacent properties are listed within the National Historic Survey as contributing structures. A total of 8 properties were notified of the proposed project. The 4 properties that are considered contributing are 70 Maple Road, 85 Fields Road, and 80 Fields Road, and 50 Maple Road. The commission recently approved a new construction at 100 Fields Road, and that approval came about 3 months ago in August. This is the notification map. In red, you can see 105 Fields Road. The aerial data has not updated with our maps, so you do see the outline of a structure here. That structure is no longer there. The rest of the area that in yellow is the properties that were notified. This request is before the commission because the applicant is proposing to construct a new single-family home. According to the Village of Pinehurst Historic District Guidelines, new construction is considered a major work item. All major work requires the approval of the commission. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant. As you can see, it meets all setback requirements. In your packet, you should have seen that there was a note here that talked about the roof overhang. It does look like it goes over, but overhangs are allowed by 3 feet, and that note was on the site plan. We have a 2-entry driveway, which is allowed, and it is approximately 4,099 square feet, as you can see here. The single-family home is 3,500 square feet. The new garage is going to be 1,800 square feet, which comes out to a total of 4,099 with all the porches and whatnot. This is the graphic rendering provided by the applicant of the front elevation. As you can see, the foundation will be stone, the siding will be lap siding, and she's included shutters on the front of the home. This is the right side elevation. In the application, the applicant did not include the fence detail. That'll be talked about later at the end of the report, but we do have that updated. Here's the right side from a different angle, once again showing how we have that bow window on the right. There's a mixture of different window styles on this structure which would appear to be consistent with other structures within the historic district. And then this is the left side elevation. We have some more decorative windows over here, and then we have some transom windows over here, which are likely used for a bathroom. And then, sorry, wrong direction. And then this is the rear of the home. As you can see, there's a patio and the attached garage through a covered breezeway. This is the front architectural elevation submitted by the applicant. Once again, we have different types of windows. We have geometric, we have double hung windows with shutters, and also something that we like in the historic district are front doors with the side light accents. And then this is the back elevation showing the rear of the home. Once again, this is the covered breezeway, and then you have some nice tall windows throughout. And then this is the right elevation showing that picket fence as well. There is a crawl space to access underneath the home, which is consistent with others. And then we also have a chimney, which is not visible from the street. So that is a good point to point out for consistency with the guidelines. This is the east elevation. I actually asked about what this was. It turns out she included a flat screen TV in her mock-up for the applicant, so that's what that gray void is. Other than that, everything else appears to be consistent with the guidelines. And then these are the elevations for the attached garage. What you're going to see from the front are these 2 windows. This is going to be accessed off the rear soil drive right now, so these are opening to the rear, which is consistent with the guidelines. And then, once again, that she's matching the window styles with both the accent above and it being double hung windows. These were the submitted floor plans for the application. This is the second floor plan submitted. And then, I was talking about that fence detail. Ms. Dandanu responded in an email and gave me that specifications, which do meet our historic district guideline requirements. And then she also updated it with a tree/landscape detail where 1 tree is going to be removed as a result of this project that's greater than 12 inches in DBH. This is the submitted application material list from online. As you can see, the colors are white throughout and gray, which are consistent with the historic district color palette, and she's using hardy plank, which is a material that the commission has previously approved, the southern stone for the foundation, and Anderson Art Craft wood oak door. The roof exhaust is aluminum. The decking, there's no proposed decking material, and the house number was proposed to be metal and black. The material sample board is here. She's pointed out the critical material items. Once again, we have the hardy board, we have the roof metal, roof asphalt shingle, the double hung windows, the Anderson stone, and the shutters that appear to be operable. With that, staff would like to enter the following into the record: staff report, presentation, application, applicant's material, photos, site plans, and findings of fact.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Any questions on the staff report?
Yeah, Peter, what did you say about the roof overhang?
So on the site plan that was submitted, when I was reviewing it, I asked her to put a note on there.
Right.
So in the PDO, we allow for an overhang of 3 feet. So the foundation of the structure is meeting the setback requirement. In the way that the drawing looks, it's the roof overhang that's projecting into that setback, but it's allowed to go up to 3 feet into meeting that. So it's PDO compliant.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Any other questions to staff report?
Yeah, well, may I?
Sure.
So in your staff conclusion, you said it appears to be consistent with other homes in the historic district as to scale.
Yes, so across the.
Base that.
So across the street, you have three homes that are two-story homes. You guys recently approved a 3,700 square foot home at 100 Fields Road. So that's consistent just in the general area. And then we have to do, when we say consistent or congruous with the whole historic district, it's the historic district as a whole. So if you go down Donald Rice Drive, you go down Linden, you go down Midland, there's plenty of homes of this size and scale within the historic district. So.
Well, I think we need to discuss that at some point, exactly what that means, because if you look in the guidelines, it
All right,
does.
well, we'll get to that.
Oh.
I'm just questioning about
Huh?
staff
Oh,
report.
sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
Any other, go ahead, any others?
On height, were there any comparisons on that at all?
I did not give a specific height comparison, just that the stories, so 115 was a 1.5 story right next door, 100 Fields is 2 stories, 80 Fields is 2 stories, and then 70 Maple and 50 Maple are both 1-story homes. So it's a collection, hodgepodge of different story heights.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions on staff report? Okay, the staff report's moved in. Ma'am, if you would please, in the microphone, state your name and your relationship to the property.
My name is Christine Dandino. I am the architect for the project, and I represent the owners.
Okay, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give to this commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
The record show that the architect has sworn that she will tell us the truth.
Okay.
Your turn.
So I was just approached by the homeowners. They wanted to live in the village. They love the historical look of the village, and I really spent hours trying to make this a house that really fits in and seems to be part of this village. Having been on the board that helped write the HPC requirements, I have a real appreciation for this village and how this is important. So, yeah, so it's a, it's a 2-story home. It kind of harkens back to the Holly Inn, in my opinion, but the roof overhang is, part of it is it's got these roof kicks, which you can see. There's these modillions that stick out around the lower level, which was typically done in those houses back in the day so that you would stop rain from hitting the windows. So I kind of chose to use that same old style design around the whole exterior of the house. As you can see, so that's part of your roof overhang. It's a Dutch colonial, which I feel really fits in, and the colors should fit in. And what you will see from the street, you won't, that particular shot that's a little bit better. That side shot seems a little imposing, but keep in mind there are existing trees all along the sides of this, and your main view will be just like the house across the street. And there's 2 houses. There's the one across the street, and then there's the bungalow at the corner that are of the same exact scale, that have the same driveway entrance. I think this will fit in really nicely. So that's what I have to offer. I'm open for some questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions?
Well, can you describe, the scale bothers me. I'll
Yeah.
just cut to the chase. I just think it's way larger than those homes across the street. I'm very familiar with that whole neighborhood.
It's not, though. If you were to go look at, I mean, I've gone on tours of all those houses. The corner on Fields Road and was it Dundee? I mean, there's a giant pool in the back. There's an outdoor.
But we don't have the square
guest-
footage on that one here, do we? I don't think. That's 125 Fields. I don't think we have that, so.
Yeah, I mean, and then if you look at the facade, I actually was on the board when they presented, there's another proposal, and it was 4-car garage, facing Fields Road. This is not that. This is a street-friendly, kind of hides the ugly, backyard garage kind of look. Yeah, that house right there. It's very similar in size and scale. And in fact, the one to the right, I would say, is even bigger than this one. that one right there.
You say it's bigger, but that's not what we're seeing on the report.
Well, what is this, I mean, he also,
So I pulled the data from Moore County GIS's as tax assessors building footprint. So the square footage is close. I think those are about 3,200 and 3,500 square feet, I believe. So
and keep in mind that number that he was showing you is impervious. Let's see if I can pull it. Can you go back to the site plan?
Yep.
Zoom in there. You know, that unheated number that's added to it all is garage and patio and porch. It's not actually square footage, and it's also, you know, it's all the surfaces. It's not the actual square footage of the building. So it's not actually 4,000. It's really more like 3,600.
Yeah, but if you take the garage, porch, and patio, it's 1,804, right? And the main floor is 2,429, isn't that, aren't we looking then?
Well, yeah, if you count the garage, but did you count the garage on the others? The other
I
two?
did.
You did? Okay. Okay, it's a little bit, okay, so it's a little bit bigger, but I don't think you can ask for, you know, something that fits in better, honestly. And, you know, the thing about these houses is you want a house when it faces the front to not be that over imposing, and I think this does that. You know, there's stuff hidden in the back, but what you see is a nice to scale that matches the other houses. Yeah, house, so.
And I think also, I don't know whether the commission has received guidance, but certainly the council has, that when we think about what is Congress, we have to think about in the concept of the entire historic district. We cannot think in terms of neighborhoods.
You know, I keep hearing that, but I still don't think that case stands for that proposition, by the way. I think that was an arbitrary and capricious case, is what it was. And I look at the guidelines on page 39, and it talks about scale, in quite good detail. Christine, as you know, you said you helped write these. And it says, you look at the total square feet, you look at the height and square footage of the front or street-facing facades, you look at the footprint, you look at mass, and the impact on adjacent structures and the relationship to its immediate surroundings. And I just think it dwarfs the other buildings there, and I just think it's too large. So that's me. It's one vote, and that's it, so.
And to your first issue of that case that we've referred to multiple
No,
times.
I'm talking to the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Is in reference to that case that you referenced to that we've talked about that requires our non-use of neighborhood, and you are more than welcome to interpret that any way that you feel is
Yeah, 'cause
appropriate.
I've never seen a case on point on this neighborhood thing.
Okay.
I've looked, I've tried hard, but I haven't found
Well-
one.
And the issue with it is, I can tell you, is that the guidance we received from the village attorney, be it right or wrong, but was the village attorney at the time of review of that case, was that was the interpretation that he recommended. He's
I've
not
heard the
commission.
history, I've heard this history.
So
Yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
I didn't know whether you knew that or not, but
I
that
have-
was,
yeah.
that was council's recommendation, that we apply that case as to that. If you want to see the actual case, I do have that
Yeah.
that documentation to show you, but you are welcome to interpret it any way you feel is the correct answer.
Can I add?
Anything else? Oh, you got something, Dad? Go ahead.
Really unrelated, but, you know, when we tried to get that, because I understand what you're pointing at, problem is that there is not a distinct line anymore. There used to maybe be where there was the workers area, and then there was the people that rented, and that was more on the Linden side, but it's become a blend, and it's very hard. You know, you can basically look at the nearby houses and try and match is what I would say is the best way you can do that. It's just been hard, but, you know, there are 3 houses near this one that do match that, so the sizing.
Well, can you explain that matching thing, though? I just don't get
Well,
the
you know, you
matching.
want your facades to all kind of be of the same scale if possible, right? But the problem is that the whole village, this is not about this project, by the way, I'm just talking from my experience before, is that you find, you know, different scales all throughout the village. It's no longer, you know, that it's one neighborhood, one all the same size. I mean, that's what like Winston-Salem tries to do, is they try and keep the facades similar, but you can just hope in that neighborhood where you are that you do the best you can to kind of, you know, line up. And I feel that Fields Road, has these other houses. So. But anyways, so that's just my thought.
Okay? Any other questions you have?
And I have,
You've got the table, so.
okay. No, I mean, that's just my overall concern, and I think, Christine, if you helped write these guidelines, I don't know what you think about the adjacent homes there too, because there's smaller homes. And also, from the front, it is a large footprint from the front. With that added wing, I guess it's a master bedroom. It's just, the scale just seems.
Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions
No.
that you have?
no.
Okay. Commissioners, anybody else have questions?
Just a clarification, there's multiple different window styles. I'm not saying we're against that or not, but just the rationale.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah. Sure, sure. Well, I tried to keep the grid proportions similar in all the windows. That's kind of typically been done, so you'll see sort of, in all of them, they all match, even though it's a different scale window. I just added those diamond ones because I've noticed that around town, like on Magnolia, there's a beautiful old house that kind of has a little fun something there. It just adds a little interest to it. And then typically I have seen a lot of these gambrels will have a half window, semicircular window. So that's what that is. The rest of, all the other windows are double hung, and now the back is a little bit more of a modern window style for the house. But it's the idea that, double hung throughout except in the back. So. And then the bay windows are also typical of that period with I've got brackets to kind of give it a historic look. So just adding basically little details that kind of give it a little bit more character than your average general, contractor, quick built home. So.
Any other commissioners, questions? Somebody want to make a motion? Seeing there are no more questions.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission find the proposed major work at 105 Fields Road congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District and consistent with Historic District guidelines, based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Motion made by Mr. Lutz. Second?
Second?
Been made by Mr. Taylor. Any other discussion on the motion?
Question for Peter. Is it possible to say it is, some language in the motion says,
Are you looking for the nevertheless language?
I do, but not this time. In the motion, we say the phrase congruous with and consistent with. Is it possible to say it's congruous but inconsistent?
It is.
Say it's inconsistent.
Well, hold on. We've got a motion on the table. It's been seconded.
This is a discussion, right?
Can discuss it. That's the problem, but we have to vote on I just want to make sure that people are clear. We have to vote on the motion that's
Yeah,
on the
I'm
table.
not suggesting we won't vote, I'm discussing.
Okay.
You could. It would have to be that second motion saying that it's congruous with the historic district but not consistent with the historic district guidelines. As the commission, you have the ability to approve something that is not consistent with the historic district guidelines.
With regard to the consistency, I might suggest for discussion that to Ann's point about scale, it is inconsistent with the guidelines, though congruous because we must consider the entire district.
Any other discussion on the motion?
No nobody has any further discussion, would you consider a friendly amendment?
I'm not amending it, I'm waiting for a vote.
The motion is made, it's been seconded, we either voted up or voted down.
Can't make an amendment to an motion?
If it's his motion, if he says no, then
I
it's
say
his
no.
motion. Are you looking to accept in a friendly amendment?
I already said no twice.
Okay, so the answer is no. So any other discussion on the motion that's on the table? Seeing no further discussion, a vote, and I'm going to do a roll call vote, starting with Mr. Lurz.
Approve.
Approved.
Approved.
Oppose? Oppose?
She opposed.
Approve.
Opposed?
4-2, and it's passed. Second part of the motion, somebody want to make that?
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness for the proposed major work at 105 Fields Road.
Second.
Any discussion? As to the motion, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Oppose?
5-1. Motion is passed. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Nice job, I think.
It's a beautiful house, I'm
Great
not denying that.
Okay, we have to review staff work. That's
Correct.
the other issue we have.
Does anybody have any questions about a re-roof at the Carolina Vista, re-graveling of a driveway and reconfiguration at 5 Everett of pathways, and then 2 fences at 125 and 20 Blue Road? Sorry, 125 Fields and 20 Blue Road.
Just out of curiosity, how much is one Carolina Vista re-roofing?
The whole thing. So $400,000 is how much that costs, in case you're wondering.
And it only cost him $100.
Relative to some of the other things that have to be approved as major work, that seems pretty major. but-
major work.
Yep.
It is allowed because they went like for like. So
Color and
if it's what's
everything.
existing, how is it not congruous and consistent with itself?
I would have called it a repair.
Sounds like someone has a law degree. With that,
Other questions on staff report? Okay? Any other business?
Do we have, as a technical matter, to close the meeting? Before
Yes,
adjourning?
we do. Thank you.
Move to close the public portion of the meeting.
Second. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much.
Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any opposition? Adjourned. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.